All right, everybody, let's see what Tucker gotta say to this Zionist. Let's go.
More than Iran? Are you serious?
No country, and I say this with...
So Israel is the most violent state in the world, even more than Iran? Are you serious?
No country, and
Yeah, it is.
I say this with sadness, but no country has boasted more about killing its political opponents than Israel, of course, about its assassination programs. The Prime Minister of Israel gave a golden pager to the President of the United States. I was there. And that golden pager represented the pagers that Hezbollah leaders were killed by. Sure. I mean, so, yes, Israel brags about assassinating people, and of course it does assassinate people. Many countries assassinate people, but Israel makes a public relations campaign out of boasting about killing its opponents. So, yeah, by
And Tucker, he just jab, hook. Bruh, he just gave him one. Bruh, he knocked him out, bruh. He wobbled him. Wobble.
definition.
These people that were killed are the terrorists of Hezbollah that had a plan to eliminate Israel. In fact, when you said you're against the war in Iran, Iran is the creator of the fire ring around Israel.
Yes.
Through Hamas, and Hezbollah trying to eliminate Israel. So don't you think that Israel has the right of self-defense, which is one of the major pillar of interest of national security in Israel and also in the United States?
Of course, I think Israel has the right of self-defense.
So
I think
you
every
said
nation
about the
does.
pager, like a golden pager, something that is wrong. Isn't it the fact that when you're fighting your enemies, you need to kill them first sometimes?
There may be circumstances where you can justify killing someone preemptively. And just to restate, Israel, like the United States, like Burundi, like France, like every nation, like every person has the right of self-defense. That's an inherent right. So I've never questioned that. I support it. The question that I think is worth discussing is, what does that mean? Killing innocents is never acceptable. Period. Under any circumstances, by any person or any nation. It's immoral. It's the thing that separates the civilized from the barbarous. Mm-hmm. And if you wind up killing people...
Like Hamas did in
of course.
October 7th,
right.
in a massacre.
None of this is a defense of Israel's enemies. Of course not. It's a blanket, like universal principle.
It sounds like...
Of course it's not.
It sounds like you are...
No. It's a universal principle that applies to every person and every nation. Now, that is not an attack on Israel. Israel has to, in order to remain considered a civilized nation, abide by the same universal principles everybody else does. If Hamas does something that's bad, it's bad. Mm-hmm. That does not justify Israel doing that same bad thing, or the United States doing that same bad thing, or anybody doing that same bad thing. So the principle remains the same. You can't kill people who did nothing wrong.
It's not just bad, you know. I'm going...
And Tucker, I like Tucker. Tucker, he's a real one, bro. Tucker, he ain't kneeling for nobody, bro. I like that.
Back to October 7th. This was a massacre that was attack on Israel, about innocent, about women, raping women, kidnapping infants, taking them to the tunnels for long months.
And this is not true. What he's saying is propaganda and lies.
Inside Gaza. Do you imagine what the United States would have done to an enemy that would have attacked the United States and do the same in the same magnitude? Do you think that the United States would act differently?
Well, I don't need to imagine, because we had 9/11 where many innocents were killed, and in response, the United States killed some of the perpetrators and also many innocents. And so we've done that. It is never allowable, period, for any person to kill an innocent. You can't kill a child. The child did nothing wrong. And civilized people understand that. That's what civilized people are. That's the definition of a civilized country.
I agree with you, but it seems like But it seems like when you speak about Israel as the most violent state in the world, you forget to mention that it is the most attacked state in the world from so many enemies, like any other country in the world. So if you don't put this equation together, it seems like we are doing it for fun or that we lost our morality. This is self-defense.
Well, Israel
Sometimes-
has definitely lost its morality. There's no question about that, of course. I do think, and I would always say, because it's true, that Israel has many enemies, many of whom have committed atrocities against innocent Israelis. Blowing up people in cafes in Tel Aviv is every bit as immoral as killing any other innocent in any other country at any other time. It's all wrong. The reason that I have cause to comment on this and to say that it's wrong is that I'm paying for it. There's no reason the United States should be sending any money at all to Israel, and particularly not to its military.
Even if the
Israel has
price-
neighbors that...
Even if the
Damn, Tucker, he ain't bowing down, bro. Tucker, he's going full out war style, bro. He's not fucking with them Zionists, bro. Honestly, I like Tucker. Tucker, he's a real one. He's become more real day by day. That's good work. Honestly, Tucker, he's a real journalist. Not all this fake journalism.
price will be the annihilation of Israel? This is not your problem.
I don't want... Let me be clear.
This is the morality that you're preaching for.
Well, let me tell you what I do think.
Okay.
Which is I don't want Israel to be destroyed. I don't want any Israeli to be harmed. I personally have always liked Israel. Not that that's relevant, but I have. So it's not, I don't want anyone to be hurt in Israel. I just don't understand why the United States has an obligation to pay for any of this, to send the weapons for it, to lend its moral authority to Israel, to lend its diplomatic cover to Israel, to lend its air force and its navy and its military to Israel. I don't understand, where does this obligation come from? And no one will answer that question. And instead they say, well, you're an anti-Semite. Well, I'm not an anti-Semite.
All right.
And that's not an answer. What is the answer? And I've never received one. And I know now, because of this war, that America's relationship with Israel, while it may be based on good intentions, is hurting the United States very badly, very badly. We can't afford it. And our standing in the world has declined, and we're implicated in some of the many crimes Israel has committed. Why?
I have some
Why
thoughts
is
about
that?
it, but I have a question.
Please
for
tell
you.
me.
You know, you accuse
Yes.
Netanyahu of dragging Trump into an unnecessary war with Iran. So let's think about
Yes.
it, what it actually means. Do you really think that a foreign leader can pull the president of the United States into a war he didn't want? And what does it tell us about Trump? Is he really that weak?
Well, I don't think that could happen. I saw it happen. I was there. And so that happened. So the question is why? And I just want to be clear. I don't primarily blame the Israeli prime minister, who I think
Damn, Tucker, he's not fucking around, bruh. He's telling the fact, bruh. Damn.
is wrong. I
Nice work.
think he's gravely hurt Israel. I think he's leading Israel toward destruction. I think he's a very bad leader and a very unwise leader. However, I also believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu is acting in what he thinks is his nation's best interest. So I give him credit for that and always have. I don't blame him primarily. I blame Donald Trump for folding under the pressure from Benjamin Netanyahu and his many allies in the United States. Donors to Donald Trump, people in the media class here, were effectively working on behalf of the Israeli government, and Donald Trump, whose decision it was, caved under that pressure. But on February 28th, the United States followed Israel into this war. And the Secretary of State of the United States said, we had no choice. They chose the time. The Israeli prime minister decided when this started. Well, that's the definition of control. He had control of this war. And so my question is, why did Donald Trump allow a nation of 9 million people to pull the United States, a nation of 350 million people, into a war that will change its future and that is bad for the United States? And I
is your
can't answer
answer?
that question.
You can't answer.
I don't have an
Because
answer.
What you're implying
All I-
that Donald Trump is so weak that a foreign leader can drag him into a war he doesn't want.
Well, I'm not.
But
First
you-
of all, I
but
never.
you, but you,
impl- oh,
you,
let-
you
let me-
hesitated and maybe
let me-
afraid to say clearly that Donald Trump is weak.
Let me say two things. For one, of course, I'm not afraid, or I wouldn't be doing this interview or talking about this at all.
Bro, what this Zionist interviewer, does he not have ears? Tucker, he said it. He was weak. He got pushed into the wall. What the fuck, bro? Totally retarded, bro. honestly, Tucker, respect to him, bro. I like people who's telling the truth. And this, I don't know, this guy from the Zionist state, this interviewer, you ain't the shit, bro. Honestly, you just shit. But yeah, guys, see you next time. Like, subscribe, you know the shit. See you.